The Richardson family's annual business dinner was in full swing at the Plaza Hotel's private dining room. As usual, my siblings were competing to share their latest triumphs. Our tech division just landed a government contract, my brother James announced, adjusting his Rolex. Well, Richardson Real Estate just opened our 15th office, Sarah countered, her diamonds catching the light. Michael, the youngest before me, smirked. That's nice, but Richardson Medical just acquired 3 new hospitals. Then all eyes turned to me, Emily Richardson, the family disappointment. I took a small sip of wine, already knowing what was coming. So, Emily, Sarah's voice dripped with false concern, starting another new business venture? What is it this time? I dabbed my lips with the napkin, buying time as my phone silently buzzed in my lap. A message from my COO, final paperwork signed. All 3 acquisitions complete. Just a small investment firm, I replied quietly. Another failed venture? Sarah laughed. Like that coffee shop last year? The coffee shop that was actually a front to evaluate their company's spending habits. Every overpriced latte had revealed more about their financial weaknesses. Speaking of ventures, James cut in, did you hear about that mysterious Atlas Group that's been buying up companies in our sectors? They've been circling our territories for months. I hid my smile behind my wine glass. Atlas Group, my company's public face, carefully separated from my real empire through layers of holding companies and shell corporations. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, Michael waved his hand dismissively. Richardson Medical is too strong to be threatened. My phone buzzed again, transfer of ownership complete. You now control all 3 Richardson companies. Actually, I set down my glass, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Sarah rolled her eyes. Please, Emily. What would you know about real business? You can barely keep your little investments afloat. Those little investments just bought all 3 of your companies, I replied calmly. The silence that fell over the table was absolute. What are you talking about? James stammered. I pulled out my tablet, sliding it across the table. Atlas Group is a subsidiary of Phoenix Holdings, which is owned by Enterprises. I paused. Pie company. That's impossible, Michael whispered, staring at the documents. Atlas Group is worth billions. 4.6 billion to be exact. I smiled. Though that's just the public division. The private holdings are worth considerably more. Sarah grabbed the tablet, her perfectly manicured hands shaking. These documents, they're dated today. As of 3 minutes ago, I confirmed, I own Richardson Real Estate, Richardson Medical and Richardson Technologies. Complete ownership, not just controlling interest. But your failed businesses. James sputtered. We're market research. Every failure taught me more about your company's vulnerabilities. I leaned forward. The coffee shop showed me how your employees really feel about management. The boutique revealed your cash flow problems. The consulting firm gave me access to your client lists. Dad will never allow this, Michael declared. Dad retired last year, I reminded them. And his golden children just sold their birthrights because they were too arrogant to notice who was really buying their shares. My phone buzzed one final time, new signage being installed now. If you'll excuse me, I stood, smoothing my simple dress. I have 3 companies to restructure. Oh, and you might want to check your email. HR will be contacting you about your new positions. Those of you who still have positions, that is. You can't do this, Sarah protested. We're family. Funny, you didn't consider me family when you banned me from board meetings. When you mocked my little ventures. When you told clients not to work with me. I gathered my things. Consider this a hostile takeover, emphasis on hostile. As I reached the door, I turned back one last time. Oh, and Sarah, that corner office you're so proud of? I want it cleaned out by tomorrow. It's mine now. The door closed behind me on their stunned silence. Outside, my driver waited with my real car, not the modest sedan they thought I drove. To the office, Ms. Richardson? Yes, I replied, checking the time. The new office. The one with my name on it. The next morning, I sat in Sarah's former corner office, now mine, watching the new Enterprises signs being installed across all 3 Richardson buildings. The city skyline offered a perfect view of my siblings' crumbling empires. Ma'am, my executive assistant Claire entered with a stack of reports. The transition teams are in place. And your siblings have been quite vocal about their new circumstances. I imagine they have. I opened my laptop to view the security feeds. Sarah was having a meltdown in the HR department. James was arguing with security about his access card. Michael was trying to rally his former board members, who now worked for me. My phone buzzed continuously with family messages. James, this is corporate theft. Sarah, you can't just take everything we built. Michael, Dad will hear about this. Mom, please Emily, be reasonable. Their email access has been revoked, Claire reported. Though Sarah tried to delete some interesting files before we cut her off. Our tech team is recovering them now. Anything incriminating? Very. Apparently, Richardson Real Estate has been falsifying property valuations. James's tech division has been inflating government contracts. And Michael's hospitals. She paused. Let's just say the audit team will be busy. I smiled, remembering all the times they'd lectured me about proper business practices. Should I call security for Sarah? She's threatening to barricade herself in your office. No need. I checked the time. Her credit cards should be declined right about. On the security feed, Sarah's face crumpled as her corporate cards were declined at the building's coffee shop. Their corporate accounts? I asked. Frozen, Claire confirmed. Along with their expense accounts, company cars and building access. Though Michael is still trying to enter the medical center through the service entrance. My phone rang, Dad's number. Hello, Father, I answered calmly. What the hell do you think you're doing? He demanded. Business, I replied. The way you taught us, aggressive, strategic, and absolute. By destroying your siblings' companies? By saving them, I corrected. Would you like to see the audit reports? The falsified documents? The creative accounting? Your golden children were running these companies into the ground. Silence on the line. How? He finally asked. How did you manage this without anyone knowing? Remember when you said I'd never understand real business? That my little ventures were embarrassing the family name. I turned to watch another Richardson sign being replaced with my company's logo. I learned from that. Built something bigger than you ever imagined while you were all too busy mocking my failures to notice my success. The Atlas Group. That was you all along? Atlas Group, Phoenix Holdings, Enterprises, I own them all. Built from nothing while your precious heirs were living off the companies you gave them. Claire appeared with more reports. The board members are ready for your announcement. I have to go, Dad. Unlike your other children, I actually run my companies. I paused. Oh, and about the family estate, you might want to check who bought it at auction last month. The new owner is planning some renovations. I hung up as Claire pulled up the company-wide video conference. On various screens I could see my siblings being escorted from their former buildings, their personal items in cardboard boxes. Ready for the announcement? Claire asked. Almost. I straightened my designer suit, no more playing down my success. First, send severance packages to the worst offenders. Sarah's yes men, James's cronies, Michael's enablers. I want them all gone by lunch. And your siblings? I smiled, watching Sarah try to use her corporate credit card one last time. Send them each a copy of their company's real financial reports. Let them see exactly how badly they've failed. I paused. And schedule a family dinner for Sunday at my house. The mansion I bought from Sarah last year when her secret debts forced her to sell. That's rather cruel, Claire observed with a slight smile. No, cruel was them mocking every business I started. Cruel was being excluded from family functions for being unsuccessful. Cruel was watching them run our father's legacy into the ground while believing they were business geniuses. My phone buzzed with another family text, a group message this time. Sarah, we need to talk. James, you can't do this to us. Michael, the board will never accept you. Mom, please, let's discuss this as a family. I typed back a single response. Check your new employee handbooks. Chapter 1. How to Succeed Without Family Connections. The board is waiting, Claire reminded me. I stood, straightening my nameplate on what was once Sarah's desk. Time to show them what real business leadership looks like. On the security feeds, my siblings were finally leaving the buildings. Their buildings, my buildings. James was trying to keep his Rolex from the asset recovery team. Sarah was sobbing into her designer handbag. Michael was threatening legal action to increasingly disinterested security guards. One last thing, I told Claire. Have their personal items delivered to their homes. Except for Sarah's awards, James's plaques, and Michael's certificates. Those can go to my new office, as reminders of what happens when you mistake inheritance for success. The board members' faces appeared on my screen, ready for their new CEO's first address. Behind them, the last Richardson signs were being replaced with my company's logo. Time to show my family what their failed sister could really do. 1 week later, I sat in my executive boardroom, reviewing the true scope of my siblings' mismanagement. The audit reports read like a manual on corporate incompetence. The numbers are worse than we thought, Claire reported, displaying spreadsheets across the wall screens. Sarah was using company funds to maintain her influencer lifestyle. James had 7 unofficial consulting accounts. And Michael. She paused. Let's just say the medical board will be very interested in our findings. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing with family messages. Sarah, my social media sponsors are dropping me. James, the government contracts are under review. Michael, the medical board wants a meeting. Mom, your father hasn't slept in days. Their personal accounts? I asked. Nearly empty, Claire confirmed. Turns out they were all living on corporate funds. Sarah's mansion has 3 mortgages. James's Ferrari was bought with misappropriated tech division money. Michael's summer house was funded by hospital kickbacks. I smiled, remembering their constant boasts about their business acumen. The press is having a field day, Claire continued, pulling up news headlines. Richardson empire falls to mystery sister. Failed entrepreneur reveals billion-dollar secret. Family business drama. How the black sheep became the wolf. Any word from their lawyers? They can't afford lawyers anymore, Claire smirked. Though Sarah tried to hire one with her emergency credit card, which we cancelled. The intercom buzzed. Ms. Richardson? Your siblings are here. All of them. I checked the security feed. They looked terrible. Sarah's designer clothes wrinkled, James's perfect hair disheveled, Michael's arrogant posture deflated. Send them in, I decided. Time for their performance reviews. They shuffled in like chastened schoolchildren, a far cry from their usual confident struts. Sit, I commanded, not looking up from my reports. Emily, Sarah's voice quivered, please, my sponsors are dropping you because they've discovered your lifestyle was funded by embezzlement? I finished. Yes, I know. The SC knows too. James stepped forward. The government contracts are under federal investigation. I cut him off. Those unofficial consulting accounts weren't as hidden as you thought. Why hospitals, Michael began, are being audited by the medical board, I interrupted. Those kickbacks left quite a paper trail. They sat in stunned silence as I pulled up their financial records on the wall screens. Let's review your performances as executives, shall we? I stood pacing before the displays. Sarah, you turned Richardson Real Estate into your personal ATM. James, you treated government contracts like a shell game. Michael, you made healthcare fraud an art form. We can explain, Sarah pleaded. To the authorities, I replied calmly. They're very interested in your explanations. You're going to have us arrested? Michael whispered. No, I smiled. I'm going to do something much worse. I'm going to make you work for your money. Claire distributed 3 folders. What's this? James asked, opening his. Your new employment contracts. Entry-level positions. Real jobs, not executive titles you got by being born. Entry-level. Sarah looked horrified. But I was CEO of a company you ran into the ground, I finished. These positions reflect your actual qualifications, not your family connections. This is humiliating, Michael muttered. More humiliating than facing federal charges? I raised an eyebrow. The choice is yours. Work for me, learn real business practices, or face the consequences of your actions. My phone buzzed. Dad requesting a meeting. One more thing, I turned back to them. Sunday dinner will now be held at my house. The mansion I bought when Sarah's secret debts forced her to sell. Black tie attire, if you can still afford it. Why are you doing this? Sarah asked, tears smudging her expensive mascara. Because 5 years ago you all laughed when I started my first company. 4 years ago, you excluded me from family functions for being unsuccessful. 3 years ago, you told clients not to work with me. I sat back down. Now you work for me. Consider it a lesson in real business practices. And Dad? James asked quietly. Can watch his precious heirs learn what real success looks like. I nodded to Claire. Have security escort them to HR. And Sarah? I called as they stood to leave. That corner office you loved so much? I'm turning it into a storage room. As the door closed behind them, Claire brought in more reports. Their company credit cards are being shredded as we speak, she reported. Though Sarah tried to make one last purchase at your old coffee shop. The one they mocked as a failed venture? I laughed. How fitting. My phone buzzed one final time, a family group text. Mom, please come to dinner tonight. We need to talk. Sarah, I had to move back home. James, they're repossessing my Ferrari. Michael, the medical board wants all my records. I typed back, sorry, too busy running 3 companies. But I'll see you Sunday in the mansion that used to be Sarah's. Dress appropriately. Your new employee handbooks have guidelines for proper business attire. Outside my office, 3 new entry-level employees headed to orientation, learning their first lesson about real business. Success isn't inherited, it's earned. And I had earned every bit of mine.